Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, sim fans, race fans, RC fans. Racing 393. Okay, so I've done a couple of videos on this car now. There was a couple of video like YouTube shorts, which was basically just a couple of updates within the car. You know, I was adding the electrics and bits and pieces. It's been as a rolling chassis for ages. There was videos of the build, the upgrades. There are still some upgrades that I haven't added yet. I'm not saying I won't do them. I don't think they're necessary at the moment. But over the last 3 days, I have been adding the electrics, and this video is going to be just going over in more detail what I've done. Now, bear in mind, the plan, if you've seen the video, is to join the British Radio Car Association, I think it's called, which I've done, and to book in to a national event for the LMP12 electric scene on road for next year, which I have. It's in Eastbourne. Never been there. I've watched videos. It's one of those, you can clearly see those that have got the talent and those that have, I wouldn't say less talent, because I'm going to be even less than them. Maybe not quite as good, not as accurate, but you can definitely see the guys that know what they're doing. So it's, yeah, it's a bit intimidating. I'm also planning on going down to a local club event in Eastbourne, taking this with me just to make sure it complies with the rules. Hopefully meet a couple of guys down there who I've been chatting to, just to get familiar with an event. I mean, turning up to a 2-day event, not knowing what to do, is super intimidating. And also, this car now, it's been a rolling chassis forever, and I've got most of the things done inside, which I'll show you, but it's surprisingly heavy for what it is. That's probably a bad thing, but you know, with the battery in there, the motor, the electrics, it does go up. And the electrics was super tricky. One is the simple task. I'll use the word simple with hyphens. Soldering. I'm pretty sure my soldering iron isn't the best, and I think I need a more powerful one to get the heat generated quicker. Anyway, it was done. I've done the soldering. There's a couple of bits I haven't done. I've still got to buy a couple of parts, which I'll show you. So let me just move the camera and bring the car over, and I'll take the shell off so that you can have a closer look at the internals of the car. Now, I haven't even tried it yet, so I still don't know if it works. I've got to, it's got to be bound to my transmitter. It's only a Fly Sky, and well, there's obviously the settings to go with the speed controller, and there's an update which I haven't got a clue how to do. Okay, so this is what I've done. So let me move my camera. I'll be as tidy as I can. Firstly, start at the back. That's probably the easiest way. So the motor's in. You can all critique my soldering skills. They're on. They definitely can be better, but they're on. Now, the first mistake I've made is the length of the wires from the speed controller, because there's no room under. Well, I don't need to tell those that know, but I'll just assume that lots of people are watching this who don't know. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, the wires. So, because there's no room, and the sort of the middle of the body shell is sort of here, the raised bit, the canopy. These wires should have actually gone round here a bit more. So that one was okay. You can see this one here. That's the B wire. The A wire, which is there, that needed to be longer. and so did the C wire. For some reason I didn't really plan the routing of my wiring. It's a bit annoying, but it is, you know, where that sits now, it isn't going to be in the way of anything, because as you saw beforehand, the shell does fit quite well. The sensor lead, that's fine. I've just loosely tied that to sort of underneath the post so it doesn't get in the way of anything, it doesn't foul on anything, so that's good. Batteries in with a strap. That would seem the typical way that you hold the batteries in, I think, on the Schumachers. I could be wrong, but that's what I've got. Now I've got the leads for the speed controller for the battery, plus and minus. The other ones I've tucked away under there. I haven't put the ends on yet, because I think the ends I've got are the ones that just that poke in, and if I do that, they're going to be too tall. So I need to get, or I think I might already have, the L-shaped flat leads connectors, so they don't, because the body shell's super low here. And the other thing, the other error in my, what I should have done is when mounting them to the speed controller, I've gone up. Perhaps what I definitely should have done, especially on this one, horizontal. So that should have been horizontal out from the speed controller, and I probably assume there is room in there, but I would suggest that the battery leads horizontal. Don't suppose the motor leads make a huge amount of difference, because it goes under this like compression shock. This fits okay, so over to the speed controller, that's all plugged in. I haven't bound, they're very cheap, it's not a race one. You know, I know this, I'm not going to get into all that. I mean, there's far better equipment, and I'll be honest with you, it's not really going to make a lot of difference to me. I have got a reasonable good servo in there, quite a quick servo, so it should be good to go. All the wiring in here, I mean, the back axle, or the, what they call that, the oh, as a word, I've been looking at it all them building this. It depends on how much that moves that way, and then obviously it moves forward as well. It's, enough movement. I think the front springs on this, these are standard ones. I have a feeling they might be too stiff, so I might have to change the springs in the front. Although I've been told build it to stock and you'll be fine. It is built to stock. I just feel the front is too stiff. If you know any different on that, anyone says, well, they should be that stiff, then let me know. It'll save me a job. So this is a bit I mentioned before. I don't know what gearing. This is just a standard gearing. 80. I did read its instructions. I don't know. I can't remember now. 84 or is it 87 teeth? It's box standard. The mesh ain't too bad, but that pinion, I can't remember what I put in. It's something. It's quite a big pinion, as you can see, but I don't know whether it needs. I don't know what size to do. So again, I'll have to probably ask on the Facebook group. We'll get all in technical in it. It depends what spur gear. I know I kind of understand that. It depends the size of your rear tyres. I get that, because you can turn them down, and when they wear, obviously the gearing will change. I get that. But to be honest with you, I could put the wrong stuff on and it probably wouldn't make any difference to how quick I am. All I'm after at the moment is a car that you can turn and it drives. I don't even know if you're allowed additives. Definitely, from what I can gather, you're not allowed these tyres. It wouldn't matter. I'll be honest with you, I could use these tyres with additive and it still wouldn't make a difference to me in my first meeting. But I can change these, it's not a problem. So I've got my other ones. What else? I think that's about it really now. I haven't received it yet, but I do have a transponder. So I don't know if I was pointing the camera there then, that was me just gazing around. So you've got the two in there, the speed controller and the steering servo. There's a spare, got the other one that says bind for binding purposes. Fan, I'll have to look into that. I've got two spare ports, but I think one is a 3-channel. I'm not sure. I know you bind in one, but if is it an actual channel? So you could run a fan onto the speed controller if you needed to, but I think that's going to be too high. There's not enough room. Maybe you don't have to run fans. So anyway, I've got the transponder, which needs to go in there somewhere on the flat part of the chassis. And the other question I have for anyone that's watching this, obviously the antenna goes here, and there is I think I've got in the box somewhere like an antenna tube. Well, an antenna tube and a mount, which I think would go in there, and this would go up. Now, I haven't seen, when I've been watching online, they don't seem to have aerials sticking out. There must be a different receiver, and they're definitely probably not using this one, because this is a cheap shit one, but it works for me. So there's got to be a specific style model that they tend to use. So it looks like my car's going to have an aerial sticking out very slightly, which isn't a problem for me, but I didn't see any of that when I was watching it online, so I don't know. But like I say, you could give me someone's car that goes around there on rails and is a winner, and I'd be the slowest. So that's why it's not so much of a problem if I'm not using up right top of the range gear. Once and if I start doing it more and find that maybe, just maybe, the equipment's holding me back, I can't really see that myself. Then I might need to upgrade. I think, to be honest with you, the upgrade will be the hand control unit. And then you start going down the route of the efficiency of your soldering. I definitely could improve my soldering so that you get maximum amount of efficiency through the battery and the motor. And then you've got even things like how you've got your steering set on the hand controller. So your actions, when you turn, it turns for you. You can have a very sensitive steering or a very sort of a lazy steering. I need to find that out as well. So the only thing I might do to this that's going to be above and beyond stock, unless somebody says different, is I'm going to plan to change the front springs in the front of the car, because I think they're too stiff. I can probably show you here. I'll put it on the table. As I've sort of demonstrated. Let's get that. That's fine. It is quite, pushing the centre, it's fine. But this one, the front, don't know, just seems graunchy. Maybe I should put some grease on it to sort of free it up. Don't know. So there we have it. It's almost finished. I will do a little bit more to it. I will get it actually running. I'll put the fit the transponder, battery wires with the connectors on the end. I think I've got the L-shaped low profile ones. Bind the receiver to my hand controller, and then I'll have to put the programmer onto the speed controller and have a look at the regulations, blinky mode, whatever that means. So I didn't know what that means. Blinky mode, and then there's an upgrade, a firmware upgrade. I'll look into how to do that unless somebody can tell me. I didn't see a connector, like a connection on the speed controller. Anyway, that's something I need to figure out. And then hopefully 15th of January is when I'll go down to the track. That's the plan, having not been. And then the following weekend, it's a double weekend, 20th and 21st, Saturday and a Sunday. I can film that. I can wear my GoPro on my head. And I'll give you a little bit of an insight through my journey. It won't be like professionally done, I can assure you, because I won't know what I'm doing. Right, so I think that just about sums it up for now. I've got a busy week, busy weekend, so I won't be doing much to the car now. I might do a couple of short videos of any further progress, and then once I've done the things I've mentioned in this video, I'll do another video, and hopefully by then it will be running, working. I'm not going to paint the shell until after the 15th of January to make sure it doesn't need trimming or something I've not done right, and I'm not going to trim the posts until after then either. So yes, that's it. Well, that's the update. That's sort of quite a lot going on there. The car has taken a lot of progress now. Let me know your feedback, anything you know. I'll find some stuff out through the Facebook group or a couple of guys that I'm talking to, and we'll go from there. All right, thanks very much. Appreciate you watching and your time, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.